Here we go again. I'm not sure how many times I have to keep doing things like this, but I'm going to continue until something is done or something like this ceases. And that may be a tall order, but somebody has to do it. You see the thumbnail, you see the caption, and this is nothing I'm making up. So I'm going to jump right into it and give you the article from the New York Post. Let's go. A Bronx man is believed to have butchered his girlfriend and her 6-year-old daughter inside their apartment before killing himself on Sunday, according to cops and sources. The bodies of Gabriel Munoz, 26, and her kid, Rosaria Estevez, were found with stab wounds all over in a bedroom inside their Monticello Avenue home around 11:50 p.m. Saturday, police said. I am disgusted at what happened because it not only took my sister, but my niece, the dead woman's sister, Giselle Munoz, told the Post on Sunday. Her voice began breaking. She said, I'm sure she watched her mommy die before she was taken. Sources identified the suspect as Gabriel's boyfriend, Caleb Doomberry. Look at this piece of shit. Who was on parole for assault at the time. Dewberry, 35 years old, barricaded himself inside an apartment about a mile from his girlfriend's and fatally stabbed himself with a knife as police closed in around 12:15 p.m., Sunday, sources said. What are you running for and barricading yourself for if you're completely innocent? So not only is he a piece of shit, but he's a coward. Gabriel had added him to the lease on the Monticello Avenue apartment a few months back, according to sources. So she brought him in the home and added him to the lease. Not sure if he was staying with a friend or mama, but apparently he didn't have a place of his own because she added him to the lease. Giselle, who lives in Florida, said her sister had been with Dewberry for less than a year. Sources said Rosara was not his child. I'm really good with vibes, and I honestly didn't really like him, Giselle said. I just knew she was happy. She was happy for her sister that apparently her sister felt that she found love. She found somebody she can connect with. Gabriel worked from home for a law firm and was in school studying pharmacy. She wanted to become a doctor someday, her sister said. So baby girl was making money. She was working from home for a law firm. Also, she was in school to studying pharmacy to become a doctor. She had plans, she had goals, she had dreams, she had ambitions. She was doing so well. I never expected this to happen, Giselle said. She did so much for her daughter. That was her main motivation. She was not only focused on work and school, but she was focused on her baby girl as a motivation to show her that she too can achieve her dreams and goals. Dewberry had numerous arrests for gun possession, robbery, and assault, according to sources. So this wasn't his first time around the block with violence and acts of robbery and theft. Okay. Gabriel and Dewberry were last seen on surveillance video around 9:30 p.m. Friday, leaving her apartment to throw out the trash, sources said. Dewberry was spotted entering and leaving the apartment multiple times the next morning. Last left it around 4:30 p.m., according to sources. A motive and a double slaying was not immediately clear. Sources said Gabriel had multiple stab wounds to her head, back, and arms, while Rosaria suffered blunt force trauma to the head, as well as multiple stab wounds to her face. So not only was the baby hit in the head, but was stabbed multiple times in the face. This 6-year-old, who around this time should be planning Easter with her friends, getting ready to go to Easter egg hunts, spring is coming around the corner, is now in the morgue with multiple stab wounds to her beautiful face. The little girl was a little beam of light and sunshine, Giselle said. She loved unicorns, said the grieving aunt. She was so sweet. Just think about her and her voice, hearing her voice in my head. I can't believe this happened to her. She was so sweet and innocent. She had just turned 6. A neighbor named Maria Jansen, 14, says she was in shock over the sickening violence in her building. A young mother and her daughter, it's a lot to take in, especially on a block where nothing bad ever happens, she said. It's terrible. They haven't lived a life yet. They're still a baby. They haven't made it to middle school or high school. It seems as though every time I come to you guys, I'm depicting violence. I'm doing a story on violence, and it's usually towards violence for some reason towards a woman of color or a Black woman. And on different platforms, I have many female friends who often get online and say things like, men ain't shit, brothers ain't shit, leave these men alone, I'm done, I'm better off single. All these guys look to do is to dim your light and hurt you and kill you. And I oftentimes come to the defense and say, well, you know, and not to be insulting, are these just isolated incidents or is this true? And every time I come to a man's defense or a brother's defense, something like this happens. What am I left to say and do? This, allegedly, this coward took the life of somebody that took him in and her daughter. This grown 30-something-year-old man snuffed the life out of a 26-year-old woman who was just going to work and going to school to better herself and better life for her daughter. This baby girl who at 6 years old, you're possibly in kindergarten or first grade, ain't making it to school Monday morning to talk to her friends about what she did over the weekend. That's not happening. I have no choice but to say maybe these women are right, that the greatest threat to a woman's life is a man. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. But apparently that seems to be the case. Ladies, listen. I don't care how much you get caught up in the mystique of a man, his status, his ability to provide, his perceived ability to protect, what he can do for you, how good he make you feel in the bed. It ain't worth your life. It ain't worth your baby's life. Because apparently men ain't being men no more. And I can't believe I'm saying that. You got bastards like George Zimmerman running around scot-free, and no one's ran down on him yet. The cop that shot Tamir Rice because as a trained officer, he couldn't identify a toy gun from a real gun, he's still running around. Shit, if you got an angst towards women, that Casey Anthony bitch is still running around. All those people that stormed the Capitol on January 6th, they're still running around. But you took the life, allegedly, of somebody that was supposed to be your girl? I'm not cool with that at all. It needs to be addressed. I mean, pull the picture up again. Look how beautiful she is, man. That should be somebody like, hey, you know what, baby, I came home from work. You had a hard day at work. You studying in school. You're going to put the baby down. You're going to Netflix and chill and rub your feet. You're going to relax. And that's that. But no, that's not what happened. There is no motive as to what happened or why it happened, but two beautiful people are no longer here anymore because of the acts of a coward. And I always say this, especially as of late, ladies, if you're going out on a date, first few dates, bring your own money, bring your own car. That way your life is not in jeopardy. That way, even if your life is not in jeopardy, there's no awkward feeling. That way you both can go your own separate ways without any kind of animosity or angst. And it's just better for the both of you. I can't even believe like what I'm saying or how I'm saying it. This has got to stop. She was actually doing something with herself. As a man, you should want your woman to succeed and achieve and grasp hold of her goals. But this sorry son of a bitch, allegedly, because he fell short decided to snuff the life out of two people, a woman and a child. Like, that is the lowest of low. If there is a heaven or hell, I hope he has a first class ticket to hell. Like, and this is nothing I'm making up. I'm not pulling it out my ass. You can go ahead and Google it, look it up. New York Post, Bronx man stabs woman and child. And could you imagine if this child's father was in the picture and they were just separated, how he feels to know that his baby girl is no longer on this earth? And that's something else we got to stop doing, ladies. You can't just have any and everybody around your babies or bring them into your house because the need, or let me not say need, because you felt as though you have a connection with somebody, and connections do happen, but think of your safety first and the safety of your babies first. We're living in a mad world. I mean, whatever happened to women and children go untouched? I guess that don't apply anymore. This keeps happening over and over. Am I one person going to be able to stop it? Probably absolutely not. But hopefully, if anything, voices like mine that address situations like this get out there and the message spreads. So that way, these issues can have a white hot light on it. Unacceptable across the board. I don't care what he looks like, what his status is, what he can give you, how much money he has, what he gives you, his promises. If it becomes an issue to where your life is feeling threatened or it's a safety issue, get out. And I'm more than certain this did not happen clear out of the blue. This abuse possibly led up and led up and led up and led up until he just couldn't take it anymore. And he decided to, you know what? I'm going to take her life. I'm going to snuff her out. If I can't have her, nobody can. I'm going to tag a couple. He made sure that he made sure that the mortician was able to tag a couple of toes that weekend. And then he was too much of a coward to fess up to what he did, allegedly. He took his own life. He ran a mile away, then took his own life. Stuff like this doesn't set well with me, and this is possibly why I will never, ever try to be in law enforcement, because I take stuff like this personal. Like, it could never be just a job to me to go and see the body of a 6-year-old stabbed to death by somebody she probably grew close to and thought was there to protect her. But that night, he was the boogeyman. Once again, ladies, I am not telling you how to run your, I'm not telling you how to live your life. But by all means, you got to start vetting the men you come across. You got to start looking out for the safety of yourself and the safety of your children. And now this sister is grieving because she lost her sister and her niece. And if one of your friends or relatives pull you to the side and say, you know what, I got a bad feeling about this person, they're not trying to control or ruin your life. They possibly see something that you don't. If there's any video that you guys share this one, because this is unacceptable. And the only way to get the message out there is to pass this word along, because you could save somebody else's life. You guys know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button. Ladies, take care of yourself. Excellence of excuses.